So, we ask people to donate like per lap, like per flat donation. And I take 100% of that money and put it in dollars for scholars for them for college. So, yep.
We're very thankful for it.
Yeah. I think last year was about a pretty good size amount.
Mhm. What are you covering tonight? Really?
I mean, Joe, I never saw any of this money. I think my wife took it all.
You didn't? Sorry about your bad. Yeah. You might want to switch it to check form then.
No.
Just teasing.
It's all.
I mean, I'm sure there was a lot there you were banking on.
Yeah.
Always still appreciate all your service tonight.
Candidate.
91. Yeah. And Chevelle.
We picked up a problem today and it's I'm excited on it.
Yeah.
Jake,
But I have gone.
you already have one of me.
It's
Chevelle.
the empty lot on McLean. The guy was,
Before you leave
So-
tonight, I need candidate photos.
Smile pretty.
Get your hair going.
I dressed real good for that,
I
didn't I?
know.
Yeah.
so,
Nobody
we
cares.
redid the duplex and then I scrapper next door in a residential area that
To get
the house on the corner burnt down. They just turned the whole thing into a junkyard. And I've been watching the city every single day. And I called.
doesn't want to go
Max,
bing,
and
bing,
I'm
bing.
like,
Yeah.
City now.
That's what my
They have the deed.
Corvette had.
Yeah.
The one.
City
$7,350.
bought that lot and we're gonna put a fence in.
I had a place to store that
We're
car.
gonna block it in.
Did
Yeah.
you hit record? Maybe.
What's that?
Maybe you'll get rid of the recording.
Probably not,
Yeah.
but he'll feel
Told her
definitely
anyway.
squished.
Just read an email.
So
Oh, not when you're talking about.
Yeah, clock, right?
I need to go
It is.
to council on the Tumblr and turn that into a parking.
Let's call this meeting to order. First thing on the agenda, pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any corrections to the agenda
Yes,
that we need to make?
we're going to delete A and B under new business. Prisoners still trying to get the HVAC fixed.
Okay.
And then we'll also delete H. We are awarding the bid at the next meeting, not this one.
All right. I'd like to welcome everybody. We've done the pledge. Approved agenda with the deletion of item A under new business, item B under new business, and item H under new business.
Motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second it.
Jennifer? Yes. Josh?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes. Chief, you're up.
Everything's going pretty good. The police department, I did, fail to get you guys your quarterly updates before this meeting, so I apologize for that, but they're almost done. So I should get those sent to you email, tomorrow. Hopefully you guys can have that. Busy time, got some, trick or treat coming up this month. Got a elementary trick or treat night coming up on the 26th. And we got our coloring contest going on now, and then we'll be into the holidays, which is always busy with Shop with Cop and those types of things. That's all.
Okay. It looks like,
I had Jeff's report.
you got Jeff's report. Okay, all right.
He gave me a call. He's on a house fire right now, so he couldn't make it to the meetings, but said on everything on the fire side is going pretty good. They got a 2-day training coming up this weekend, which is ropes and confined space. He said that anyone here is welcome to come out and watch and participate if you want. I guess you can't really participate, but you can at least observe. Fire prevention week is coming up. He's got kids from school that'll be coming out to the fire station. We have a fundraiser tomorrow, so if you're hungry, want some brats or hot dogs, come on out. Support. And instead of code enforcement, he has nothing to report.
Have something for the rest.
Okay,
I have a few things on the rec center. This is not my normal report, but, Taylor has stated that she doesn't want to come and give in-person reports anymore to the council, so, apparently that's gonna fall on me, which is okay. I will continue to give the financial reports going forward as I have recently. And the second thing that I will add is she gives to the commission during our monthly meetings a director's report listing several things that she's got going on. I will start including that in my report as we go forward, beginning with the next council meeting. I will give my report at the second council meeting each month, because if we give it for the first council meeting, it may be that the rec center has not met yet. It wouldn't be current information I was giving you. So we will do that, if that's okay with everybody. And the second thing is, I spoke with the supervisors on Monday about some deferred maintenance, for lack of a better term. I'm just giving the city council a heads up that we're gonna have to tackle some deferred maintenance jobs going forward in the next 1 to 3 years. And it's too bad that some of them weren't tackled in the last 3 or 4 years, because they kind of bunched up on us. Some of the equipment in that building is the original 25-year-old equipment that was purchased when it was open. And equipment's very expensive. It's not unusual to pay $6,000 or $7,000 for one piece of workout equipment. The carpet upstairs in the banquet room needs desperately to be replaced. It's 25 years old, original. And then the fire escape on the outside of the building on the east looks horrible. I think as far as safety is concerned, it's still safe, but if you looked at it, you would think that it was not. So that's just 3 things out of about 6 or 7 things that I would refer to as the deferred maintenance that we're gonna have to tackle. And the reason I mentioned that, and I mentioned it to the supervisors, is when we turn our budget in, which we have ours in December this year. And we haven't done that in the last couple of years, I don't think. We will include in our budget some of those capital outlay items, so that all the entities involved in financing that place kind of have an understanding of what we might be looking at for the next year. And I would like to get a plan in place to show what we need to do perhaps for the next 3 years, as far as equipment replacement and so on and so forth. So that's what we have going on.
great, thank you. And nobody's here from Main Street or DCDC. So consent agenda.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Earl.
Yes. Going on to new business, item C under new business. Approve a resolution accepting the 4-year 24 streets report. Any comments on that?
Not really. It was a little cumbersome this year just because we have some grants in with that, but Cindy Kendall helped double check all of our numbers, and we have to do a little manual tracking. After this next streets report, it should be a lot easier. Our computer should just pull it out and not have to manually track anything, but she went through it, said everything looked good, and it's good to go.
Good. Motion to approve.
Second?
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh, Earl.
Yes.
Jennifer.
Approve invoice number 120194 from Beal, the amount of $616.19 for camera at the city pool.
That was the company that came into the pool. We developed another big leak back in July down there, so they came in. We actually had rural water provides a service for us. They come in and did a sonic test, found a few leaks that we was able to take care of ourselves, and then they came in and Robbie had them. They run it right through the line when the pool's under full pressure, and found the other leaks, and so that'll encompass the next one. You get the next line item.
So they cameraed the lines. Is that what this is for?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
A motion to approve the payment of $616.19.
Second. Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Earl.
Yes. And then to go along with that, approve invoice or the
Well,
quote number 1976 from Beal in the amount of $48,350 for fixing water leak at the city pool.
I know it's obviously a large amount of money, and it was just last year we did about the same thing. So last year when they come in, they cambered it the same way and found several leaks in it. And when they fixed that, the problem went away. Everything was good. That was the line from the pump house to the pool to Robbie's main valve system. And this year, about like I said, July, we developed another big water leak. And when we got into it, found these, so they cambered the outgoing line from the pumps, from the valves back to the pump and return line. And they showed us, we have the video, we have footage of the video, and it was pretty rough shape. That's usually what happens on old stuff. When you fix one leak, tends to find the others, unfortunately. So, but they found several issues with it. So they would like to liner it. That's what this bid is for. They'll liner it. And my question was, if the existing pipe goes to pot the rest of the way, it was egg shaped, it had blisters in it, it was corroded on it, and it looked like it was schedule 35, to boot. It was very weak pipe that they used for the main line. That we're afraid that, so if they liner it, that pipe goes to crap, then that liner will stay there and it'll be better than the line was before anyway. So the liner is definitely a good thing, and we're really keeping our fingers crossed that this will be all the way to and from, and we should have everything eliminated.
Is that warranted?
It will be. I don't know off the top of my head, Josh, what,
on that thing, it says 50-year
I was
life.
gonna say it says 50-year life expectancy, but it doesn't say if it's warranty.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a warranty, but
How old is that pipe of those pipe? Other than the thing,
1991, the pool was put in, I think.
really?
It's original. Was it 90 or 91?
And is it plastic or?
It's plastic, yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, they found it to be what we consider is, not that it makes a difference now, but we feel like they should have put better pipe in
Heavier
there, but,
pipe.
not looking to throw rocks at anybody, but yeah, it's pretty weak pipe in there, so we want to liner it. This liner will last a long time.
So are we like doing this every year then?
We haven't, up until these last 2 years has been
The
killer.
dry weather caused part of this problem?
It could have done. I don't have an answer for that.
It's probably galvanized, it's probably rust.
This is actually plastic.
It's plastic.
It's all plastic, but it's egg shaped and blistered. Like I said, last year we found, they cambered it and they showed it right to us, and it literally looked like it was perfect dime size holes, like they had drilled holes in the pipe when they put it in the ground.
Really?
I don't know that, but that's what it looked like. And they found several of them. And so they linered that stretch. It's like a 175-foot stretch. And so we'll do it this year. And so this should, barring any valves breaking, I hate to say that we'll never have any other problems, but leaking issues, this should eliminate a very big portion of it.
Would we be better off not spending $48,350 here and just replumb the pool
It would cost, we'd have to dig up the entire side from the pool. The pump house is clear at the east side. We'd have to dig up all the concrete clear to the diving boards. The whole side of the pool would have to come up and dig 10-foot deep, the whole thing out. So I think we'd be enormous amount of
We
money.
did that. That was done a couple of years ago.
I can tell you the water bill was over 10,000 every month this summer.
Yeah, I'm saying, I mean.
From leaks.
After July,
That shape, is
July
this gonna be a
operation.
continuing
So
thing?
I'm sorry, Jake.
If the pipes are in that bad shape, is this gonna be a continuing thing from this point forward?
That was my question too. So if the pipe continues, so that's why they're gonna liner it, and these liners they'll have a warranty to them.
So the line is gonna be the whole.
And this will be,
Yeah.
last year they
Oh, okay. I
did,
thought
from the pump house to the diving boards. This year will be from the return line going the other way. So we did see a big decrease from last year. We did see a big decrease starting the season, and something happened in July. It was very dry. I don't know if that's what created it. Some of this ground shifting. We don't honestly have
How'd you discover that? Doing routine
just the
maintenance or?
water bill. I mean, the water meter, just started watching the water meter, and then we had wet spots in the yard and water running down the parking lot. Yeah.
Then they cambered it.
Yes.
Yeah, if they're doing this to the whole system, then yes, I thought this was just fixing.
20 feet.
Yeah.
This will be the pipe, yeah, running from the pump house to there's,
Like
yeah,
178 feet.
So are there cities that like have a roller system that like covers the pool when it's closed?
I've seen them. I've never talked to anybody about them, Josh, but there are some that see them.
Prevent evaporation?
I don't, I can't answer that honestly. I can find out.
Yeah,
I haven't.
that'd be great.
A lot of people I think are going to just fully enclosing them. You know, that's for the cost of the covers and the motors and all that. And you've got to be able to cover that. It's a trip hazard. You got, you know, it's always got to be an enclosed system. It seems like the majority of them are actually putting a full enclosure around it, having a building over your pool,
Really?
which would be obviously a lot better to keep the sun clear out. That's for you. But we saw a huge chemical increase last year, and we heat the pool. And so when we're losing that much water, we lost enough water last summer. We lost enough water to fill it two more times in just a 3-month stretch. And so Robbie knew this year that we save money on the gas. We're not heating more water every time it leaks. That's heat out to, you know, heat and chemicals.
How are we budget wise for this?
I had some cushion in there, not enough. But, I had extra about 25 grand in the pool because I wasn't sure if the pool deck was gonna go over since we're in the middle of that grant, but the good news with the Parks Department is they're part of the general fund. So we
Yeah,
covered them.
and speaking of that too, I guess, you know, on the same note, they are in a very, you know, moving right along on the pool deck. They've got the complete shower house is completely torn out. Half of it's already back in place with new cement. But they found in there, they used galvanized pipe for drains. All that chemical chlorine just ate them up. The drains were completely rusted out. And the water in the drain was just going into the surface, and the sand underneath the floors was groundwater then. So we got those fixed. So that's a big plus moving forward too, to have another thing corrected. That there's 30-year pipes, you know, that were just that chemical, that pool chemical, and chlorine is just it really plays heck on stuff.
Motion to approve the 48,350 to fix the water rate.
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Don.
Yes. Approved pay application number 6 to RG Construction in the amount of $24,274.61 for the CDBG facade grant 20-CVN-035.
That is the final payment for the facades.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Earl, Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Josh.
Yes.
Item G, approve resolution to adopt the proposed drawings and bid packet for the Rebecca Drive Neville Avenue Improvement Project.
Will be the resurfacing of Rebecca Neville over there on the southeast or southwest corner of town.
Didn't do anything new or fancy, just went out for bid.
I make a motion to approve item 6G.
Second.
Don,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jake.
Item I, approve change order number 1 to Leffler Dirt Works in the amount of $5,404 for change in pavers.
So this change order, we, as you know from last meeting, had to switch up the paver itself and the colors because the color that we originally picked, they had a minimum order of 46,000 bricks and we only needed about 6,000 or 6,500 total. So we went with picked the gray granite color, and with that, yes, they're in stock, but it's gonna cost 5,404 more than the other color. So that resulted in a change order. So this will be part of our out-of-pocket match to the grant.
How do we, and they're on order, so we should be able to get them with no problem?
Yes. They,
They're
I don't
in
know
stock.
if they physically ordered them. I didn't ask them that, but they are in stock and it's a color that they regularly have. So we shouldn't have any issues. And we can pick our own number instead of their
These are
requirement.
going in the south side?
Yep.
I make the motion to approve item 6I.
Second.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Jake,
I think the cheaper one, just so, sorry.
Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Josh.
Yes.
Discuss and decide on moving forward with application process for EDA disaster supplemental grant.
Okay, this is a grant that Jeff Geertz from IEDA sent us. I've been talking with Tommy Joe and Rusty, so hopefully Rusty will have some input on this too. I'm going to explain the grant portion of this. It's a federal grant is what it is. And EDA's mission with this grant is to lead a federal economic development for regions that experience severe economic distress or other economic harm resulting from hurricanes, wildfires, flooding, and other natural disasters occurring in calendar years 2021 and 2022. We had two, July 16th, 2021, multiple storms that week hit. We were declared a disaster area. And then again, February 20, well, actually it was December 15th, 2021, but on February 23rd, 2022, we had that severe storm with the winds and everything. So what this grant is, it's to help communities become more resilient to natural disasters. And the IEDA has deemed Bloomfield to qualify for this grant because partially we'd be shovel ready for the project and we have our own utilities. So we own our own utilities. So it makes us a very good candidate for this. This would include addressing connectivity issues between the current solar array and our substation, along with making switchgear upgrades and any other upgrades necessary. And that part would be the Rusty part. So I'll let him talk about the parts that are necessary as far as our electrical grid is concerned. The federal grant was for a total of $483 million split between 6 regions. We are included in the Denver region and we received, in the Denver region, they received $57 million. There's 85% of that is still remaining to be used. These grants cycle out. It's not a deadline. It's just every time they get a grant, they review it and it goes until the money's gone. So there's no due date on it or anything. It's just when the money's gone, the money's gone. This is 100% non-matching grant. IEDA and ISU would write the grant for us at no charge. It's a very technical grant, and the ISU Electrical Engineering Department, along with IEDA, Project Manager Jeff Geertz, and I can't think of the other guy's name right now. I think Nick Stradansky would be actually writing the grant for us, and they would also do the administration, so there's no cost to administering the grant either. So that there are a couple of different ways as far as financing. I talked to Jeff Geertz. I don't know how much this will cost. That's the part I'm asking if you guys want to move forward with it. We would have to have an electrical engineer come in and do the budget for it. Jeff Geertz has told me that a lot of times, and maybe Matt, is because if they want the business, they will do the budgeting part at no cost to get the design part of it. I don't know that that will happen, but that's something that we would explore. There are a couple of different loan options. IEDA does, and I sent you in your bid packets, you should have the fact sheets for the different grants. IEDA has a loan at 2% right now. USDA has a 0% loan at this point in time. IEDA, as acting as our administrator, would reimburse as often as we want to. So if we received invoices every month, they would reimburse every month. So we don't have to do it at certain segues or anything. It's just however often we decide we need to be, I want to be reimbursed, we submit it and they reimburse us. The length of the contract is typically 12 to 48 months, depending on the scope of the project. But that's yet to be determined, with, what an electrical engineer would come up with as far as the upgrades that, are needed in our city to be able, even to handle this type of a project. So that's the grant in a nutshell. It is 35 pages long. I've read through it several times. A lot of it isn't applicable because there's a lot of different applications for this grant. It doesn't have to be just for the electrical networking and mapping of the cities, things like that. It can be for basically anything infrastructure that makes the city more resilient. Like if you're in Miami, the buildings being hurricane resistant or something like that. It can also be done for soft costs like the engineering and different infrastructure projects. So of course, we're picking out the part that's most applicable to us, but the 35 pages address all the potential uses of the money. So if you have time to read the 35 pages, great. But for our part, I'm just giving you the highlights. So that's the grant portion of it, and some financing options if you wish. And I'll let Rusty speak to the our particular situation.
On the electrical side, we could use, it'd be nice to have a engineer come in and tell us what we could do to upgrade or what we should do to upgrade. For the last 30 years, we've fixed things as they break, but we've never really upgraded anything with the exception of transformers. So for me, that's really all I'm looking at to get right now, just because I know that we can wait until down the road. Obviously, the money's an issue this year, maybe for the next two, and with a rotating grant, then I just like to see where it would go, what the money would cost just to get an engineer in here and give us some advice. What we need to make a 5-year plan or maybe even a 10-year plan, because if he comes in and tells us we need to do a new substation altogether, it's going to be $5 million plus. It's not going to be a small number. So that's for me. I'm just interested in having somebody at least come and look at it. Like Tammy said, if that's something they're willing to do for free, try to get to there in the future, that'd be awesome. That's for me. That's the main thing, just to have. I know we've got some OCBs down there, 5 of them sitting outside that are 1951 Alice Chalmers, looking perfect, but till what day, So yeah, so it's one of those things to have an expert come in and tell us what would be the right way to upgrade it, other than just fixing those as they break down.
There is one more piece. We are to have a conference call next Tuesday on the 10th. So I have the agenda for that meeting. So some things that would be discussed. What issues currently limit maximizing benefits of the existing solar array? What issues, if addressed, will make the local grid more resilient? What would add additional resiliency to the community? What could help support and bolster local regional economic development? That's phase 1. Phase 2, phase 2 approach to the application. Phase 1 would be funding to address the transmission connectivity issues between the current solar array and the utility substation, along with making switchgear upgrades and many other upgrades necessary to maximize the value of the solar array for the municipal utility. The first phase could also include some more detailed planning for phase 2. Phase 2 would be a development and installation of additional distributed renewable resources that can improve community resiliency and provide opportunities for lowering peak demand costs. What data do we need and who has the data? Completing the application and roles and responsibility. So that's what our agenda looks like for the Zoom meeting next Tuesday. So that's a lot. But that's where we're at. I just need to, because IEDA doesn't, and ISU typically, because they don't write grants for people. So they're very invested in this. Because of them being the state and who they are, I don't want to waste their time if it's not something we don't want to do. So I just need some direction as to what you want to do with this. It's another one of those grants that when it's gone, it's gone.
So the loan is how much?
I don't know.
We don't know.
It's
We
based on
won't,
our needs.
based on our needs. We won't know that until the electrical engineering.
So what is the grant? How much is the grant?
It's 100% of whatever
whatever the total bill is.
Yeah,
And the loan is 0% and we can get reimbursed that month.
Yep.
So Tommy Joe, what does this look like?
So two things. One, it's a lot of work to do a reimbursement like that, like every time we get an invoice. So I don't know. I mean.
Who
it was a
would
large
be
amount.
doing that reimbursement? Would it be your office then?
Yeah, like I would submit the paperwork like I do now with the grants and submit it up to
Sure.
them, and then they fill out or send it off and then we get reimbursed. But I would take the reimbursement more, not really do a set schedule if we did that, just look to see the dollar amount. If it's a large dollar amount, obviously we want to get it submitted right away. If it's something smaller, then you add up a couple and then submit it. But
It could be a 0% loan. Is that what you're saying, Tammy?
so first,
What do you mean zero matching?
typically
No,
grants.
Zero match.
Zero
You don't
matching
have
for
to
a
pay.
0% loan. So we wouldn't have any money invested in that. It would just be paperwork. Right?
yes and no was my understanding.
Okay.
I would suggest first, before deciding on whether or not to apply for the grant, I would like to know how much is it gonna cost for the engineer to come in and do the study first?
Is that part of the grant or are they
It
willing
can
to
be.
do that for you?
It
That
can-
could be part of
it
the grant,
can
so
be.
that could be reimbursed.
It can be. I can't 100% say it will be. That's a moving target. I'm just saying it's stated in there, the soft cost like engineering can be reimbursed,
Okay.
but I'm not
If
100%
you,
sure.
yeah, if you go through with it and get the grant, then it's reimbursable. But if we hire an engineer and say, tell us what our town needs. And they say, or we say to them, how much would that cost us for you to tell us what we need? For them to evaluate the town, and say, okay, you need $3 million worth of work and here's the phases that I would do. So if we apply for the grant at that point, after they've given us the study and said, here's what we recommend, and we get the grant, then yes, we could take those engineering and those costs and put it back in to get reimbursed. My question with the engineer specifically is, I would like to find somebody that does that work and ask them, how much can we get a quote? How much would you charge for us to come in and do the evaluation? Because I'm assuming that, yes, sometimes they'll say, well, we'll do this piece to get this piece of business to do the design work. But if we don't move past, if they come to us and say, you know what, it's gonna be $10 million and we don't have it, are they then gonna come back and charge us? Because obviously it's not gonna be reimbursable at that point. So I really would like to know first, before moving forward, how much is it gonna be for an engineer to come in and give us the plan? Then once we get that plan, circle back around to, okay, because none of us really know what we need or don't need, right? So we need
So
that.
would an engineer come in and do it with the assumption that it's going to get passed, but if it doesn't, we don't have to pay them?
I'm assuming.
Is that a possibility?
Probably not, Josh, just because it's a pretty big task, because they would have to basically
Really?
do a study of the whole town.
That's,
It could be a lot of business though.
yeah, it could be.
Depends.
Yeah, we just don't know.
What's the odds
Or something in
that,
the
what's the
middle.
odds that we would get this, Tammy?
With ISU and IEDA, I'd say
Percentage wise?
Josh's federal money, it's so hard to know, but it's done by regions. I can only tell you this. We have 85% of the 57 million that was allocated to our region left. And it's been out for 10 months.
Do we? Go ahead.
So
Nobody else is moving on.
nobody else is moving on it
Cause they're afraid.
because they don't have an ISU or an IEDA writing the grant for them.
And they don't have shovel-ready projects.
They don't have shovel-ready projects. We are in a unique position. That's why IEDA is all over wanting to do this for us, because in Iowa, there's us and there was another city, Williamsburg, are the two cities that they're looking to try to move forward.
This can be a big
Yeah.
dice.
So there's a lot of unknowns here.
So the other piece I was just gonna state is that we're not able to just go borrow what we want when we want for even at 0%. We do
Sure.
have a cap. But my main thing is without having the plan or what our town needs, we don't know what the total grant is going to be or how much we could even invest in. What I do know is we have about $1 million to spare each year. Well, I don't want to commit personally to, I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be. Is this going to be $1 million a year for 4 years? Is this going to be 500,000 for 10? No idea. I just want to remind you that if you commit to a bigger project, it's hard to get some of the other little stuff done. So, but we don't really know till we
I
see
think
what
we're
we
in this
need.
position where we need more information, but we've got to move to get more information. And so,
I agree.
Do you know of a company that would come in and do this preliminary work to see what it might cost us to get an engineer to look at this? If I
I
understood you
personally
right.
don't.
I
No,
personally have talked to the guy that designed our power plant and our distribution system. So I can definitely talk to him, and I'm sure he would give us, he's still in the business. I'm sure he would give us a ballpark, even since he knows the system, of what engineers would charge us to do that. He would have a very good idea, I believe.
How soon do you think you could get that information
Probably
back
by
to
the
the
end of
council?
next week, by the next council meeting.
But that could be very costly too.
Just for him to
To
tell
ask
us,
him?
just for him to
No.
tell us,
Not the
Rich
first
Klein's his
step,
name.
the
He's a
second
very,
step where the
Second steps where the money comes
Yeah.
in.
Yeah,
I believe Rich, and I have another gentleman from home even that he does the same thing. And to get them to say, if you have somebody come in to study your town and tell you what you need, they're gonna charge you $20,000. I mean, I think they will do that, and they'll get me really close on what it would cost us to have it studied.
Yeah.
Like I can come
Go ahead.
in.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we go ahead and investigate or inquire how much it would cost for an engineer to come in to assess what would be needed. And with that information that we meet again, I'll make a decision on whether we want to get it on.
I'll second it.
All right. Earl,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer, yes.
Yes.
Okay, item K, discuss and decide on purchasing new poles for signage for the square.
I want to tell you how much fun it is that everything I have to ask is for money. So it's a lot of fun. So this is for the poles for signage for around the square. I put a map in your city council packets. There are a couple of changes on there, but I don't think it changes the actual number of poles. I got some when I put the quotes in your packet as well. I had them quote it 3 ways. I had them quote it for the east and the south side alone. I had them quote it for all 4 sides of the outside of the city. That's option 2. And then I had them quote for all of that plus the interior around the courtyard, just so we had everything covered. And I was looking at where we could get price breaks. Actually, we can't get a price break unless we would do option 3, which is inclusive of the courtyard. So, the company, this went through HPC and Main Street. They selected the poles and everything, the toppers, the bases, everything that went along with it. And then I've been working with Brandon on, and Tom and Joe and everybody with, just getting pricing and making sure that the mapping is correct and all of that. And Matt, so anyway, what we have is if you just wanted to do the east and the south side, it would be $7,929.65. What I'm asking you is to decide if you want to do this, and if so, which option you would like to do. Their lead time is 2 weeks to 1 month, which is fine. But this would include our signs for no parking, handicap, the address signs, stop signs, the byway sign. Am I missing anything, Rusty? No. So that's what I'm asking you for tonight. Oh, and an extra light. We were 1 short on our light. We need to purchase 1 more light. That light is $3,170.
Does that include the base?
Yeah,
Be much of a price.
Oh, no, Rusty, does not include the base. I'm sorry. It does not include the base. The signs include the base. The light does not include the base.
Base was what, 760
Yeah.
something?
760.
So just doing the south side, you said was
South and east,
south and east would be,
7,900
then doing all four.
would be the 15,754.
Yeah. And then to add the interior on the courtyard makes it 23,
Yes,
469.80.
yes.
I wrote the county does theirs.
Or they do even have permission to put signs.
No, we don't. I just wanted.
No, but I'm
to-
sure they'd let us pay for them.
Absolutely. That'd be stupid if they did.
Yeah, they did not replace their lights either, so they're not matching to our outside lights.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Was that voted on there?
I don't know if they did. I'm assuming they did.
I'd like to know.
So 8 grand or 16?
I'll say if we do this, it doesn't make sense doing it on two streets.
I'm sorry.
If you do this, it doesn't make sense only doing it on two sides.
Well, I think we do it on 4. This isn't a product that is, so when you order these, you order every piece separately, you kind of design your own. These are all standard. There's nothing custom about them other than the names of the streets.
So if we do the east and south, we don't have any worry about getting them for the
No.
west and north.
I talked to the sales representative today and asking that exact question. If we just did the east and the south, are you concerned that we wouldn't, a year from now? Because no, these are just regular stock items. They have different series,
Gotcha.
and this is part of the Vista series, I believe. And this is just what they carry.
I see. I mean, it also solves, if we only do the south and the east, we don't have to store
We don't have
the
to store
north and the
that.
west
Yeah.
while we're working on it. So-
Right,
And because it's a stock item, that's easy to do. So.
right. And there's no price break at the doing all 4 sides. I mean, that would be an encouragement if there were, but there's not.
I would vote for these two sides then on this one. That'd be my motion.
And the light, the extra light.
Yeah, that's the one that's gonna go in front of it, the old NPA.
I have
building.
a question. What's the probability that this cost is gonna go up significantly before we get the other 2 sides? We don't get them all 4 at once.
I mean, we always run that risk. They don't know.
Check after.
I mean, we can always, we can order them in 2 months or 3 months. So if
Will they store them for us for 2 years for nothing?
No free lunch, buddy.
I'm pretty sure, I haven't asked that question, but I'm,
And I guarantee it's gonna cost more.
And
it's gonna cost more.
you could be right, Don, but the kicker on these is they're kind of a trial and error because we've not had this stuff before. And I know with the light poles, we put them on the east side, we learned a lot by when we installed those first 5. And so this is even a new one yet with these new lights that are gonna be the traffic signs. So we've not even seen them yet to know exactly how they work. And I'd sure hate to order in for everything and have to send it back or, not
I
work.
hear you, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just asking.
Right, but I do totally understand that they could cost more.
Well, there's no price break, so.
But if you buy them and you have to send them back, they charge you 30% for restock. Places.
Oh, that makes a difference.
Most places.
I will amend my motion and add the light, to light or short, whatever.
Thank you.
Second. Yeah.
Josh,
Yes.
Don,
Yes,
Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
yes.
Jennifer. Yes.
Item L, for approved resolution declaring the development agreement by and among the city of Bloomfield, Kenny Edwin Fowler and Teresa Lynn Fowler Revocable Trust dated December the 18th, 2020, and Ryan Fowler LLC terminated in its entirety in approving and authorizing the execution, delivery, and recording of the notice of termination.
English.
Okay. In English, we did a development agreement for them to give them some TIF money reimbursement back from the property taxes for the second building that was up behind RT Auto. We did that all back in December of 22. And, they were instructed to provide to us an exhibit from their attorney to finish out the development agreement. So we gave them 6 months and they didn't finish it. So then, I had mailed them a certified letter, letting them know we were gonna give them 30 days. We needed to get this done and finished. And I spoke to, Ryan, he came in, we talked through it. I told him what he needed again and said, did you get my letter? Yes. From his dad, I sent them both one and they failed to provide what they need to finish the development agreement. So, 30 days passed. I gave them 45 just in case. Still don't have it. So we're looking to terminate it and not pay them the $27,000 that we originally agreed to because they didn't fulfill their end of the development agreement.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes. Approve and authorize the mayor to sign amendment number 1 for the South Sidewalk Project for engineering services from French Reniker.
So like I said earlier, this is just a piece for an amendment of the original agreement that we signed. We asked French Reniker to engineer our sidewalks and then, we failed to kind of put something in there that they would check throughout the project to, just make sure our contractor's doing, what it says that we're supposed to be doing. And then we also pay them for services when we have lots of questions and call them multiple times like we did today. And so we're, putting that in there that yes, we do owe them for their service.
Starting tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah.
That is
So
on speed dial for all of us.
We're taking your phones away.
I hope the caller ID like Reginald. So we do need to correct that and add that into our engineering services.
I will just say that this is an hourly contract, so far, things have been, Leffler's been moving along pretty well. So it's just the hours that we actually spend. So we budgeted what we thought it'd take to complete the project. And if things go as smooth as they're going, knock on wood, somebody, we just would only bill what we actually use, so.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Authorize payment to Dom Enterprises in the amount of $9,856.05 for year 24 TIF disbursement.
So we have a development agreement with Jamie Dawn for True Value and he elects to pay his property taxes in full each year, which is above my limit. So I need to reimburse him.
So move.
Second.
Jake,
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Approve applying for grant to complete north sidewalks with the west sidewalks.
Okay, here we go again. This is the WQI grant that we applied for the south side and we received. So you guys have already approved for us to apply for the west side for the WQI grant. During this whole thing, speaking with the mayor, wanted to know if you guys wanted to go ahead and put the north side in with this grant. The grant amount is still the same. So it'll be pretty much out of pocket for the north side because the max amount is 150,000. We can't write 2 grants in 1 year for the same, I couldn't write one for the west and for the north. It's just be one. One of the reasons, a couple of reasons that would be good for that is we aren't stretching the project out. We get it all done next year, which is a good thing. But another good thing is we are going to be hitting almost the deadline to complete the South Side project as we're writing the grant for this next project. So in the grantor's mind, this is an uncompleted project with the money still out there. So the grant isn't as strong as it could be. By adding the north side in, it makes it a much stronger grant because we're paying more out of pocket and we're doing two sides. So we could write it for the west side again. We didn't get it last year. We wrote it for the west side last year. We did not get it because the south side was not completed. So we will hand in this grant the last possible moment to get as much done on the south side as we can. I think it's due November 1st. So we'll submit it October 31st. But we would need to tell Ashley to add the north side in if that's what you would like to do. To complete the project in 1 year and to bolster the grant that we're submitting this year for the west side.
I think we talked about this at the last council meeting, and I know the mayor's all for us getting this project completed. And I think some of the rest of us were also.
No. There's a whole lot of problems with the business owners and such.
Yeah.
It takes a 2-year project into one.
Finish it.
What's that out of pocket cost?
Well, this year for the south side, we're at $305,000 this year.
Plus the
Plus,
67,000 we've already spent.
yeah,
What?
Plus the 67,000 that we already spent beforehand getting it engineered. and
Engineered.
all that.
I will tell you, yeah, that, I'm sorry,
I was
Tommy.
gonna say, I'm assuming your out-of-pocket amount's gonna probably be 400. Let's see if we budget. At least 400,
What are you
maybe
figuring
400 to 500,000
for?
out of pocket.
For us to add the
For two
north
more
side.
sides.
There's about, Matt
Take
said,
150 back, so that's 650. That's 325 a piece. Just because we know how every grant goes over, there's always something. Plus you'll have to get these poles and signs and all that stuff that we're not doing today, so.
However, if we do this 2 sides to finish it, we actually get all 4 sides of the new sidewalk and we just pay for 1. We just pay for the north.
well,
Two, technically.
yeah,
But
two.
the grant was gonna cover the west.
Covers about half. of
That was
it.
about half
About half.
the rest.
Okay.
And
south.
Matt does have about 70% of the engineering on the west side now.
So,
And, oh, now, and the north.
Yeah.
So,
be like our out-of-pocket cost might be 35% of the total to get sidewalks all around the square.
so hard to know.
We have to get approved.
Okay.
It's gotta be approved, right? Everything else passed, it has to be approved.
Well, yeah, we have to get the grant, because if we don't get the grant at all, then you're gonna decide if you wanna just pay for it.
Right, but if we get
Okay, so
the
even
grant,
if you figure 350 on 3 sides,
each 350 each,
350,000,
that's $1,050,000.
yep. Minus 300 grand, because that's how much we would reimburse back. You're looking at 750,000 out of pocket for all 3 sides. Which is about 250 a side out of pocket. And then the east is essentially 3. We had some expenses, about 100 grand. Yeah, we'll be over 350 on south, because 40, 50, 62,000 in the south right now before we pay left for anything or anything without the signs and stuff. So we just appreciate their time. 8 grand.
Plus, the lights will be.
Just budget 400 grand a piece.
Lights cost us 2 cents, another 7.
Oh yeah, we haven't bought the lights on those 2 sides. We haven't bought the lights either on those two sides. We only
We
bought the
paid,
east and
we
the
spent about
south.
70 on the two sides. We have another 12 that we got.
$40,281.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just thinking.
Should be at least that again. We have that many lights to get that onto that. So yeah.
Gotta have a little cushion.
It'll be off in the year. That's what they're originally, you know, the price of this stuff will be, then it could be skyrocketing, it could drop a whole bunch.
I have no idea.
I would say go ahead, I'll make a motion to go ahead and apply for this grant, adding the north side to the west side. And, if we get it, great, if not, we may suspect.
I'll second it.
Josh,
Yes.
Earl,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jennifer.
Yes.
We need to finish something.
Public comments. Any public comments tonight? Yes, you got anything? So, you know, he gave you a report, but have you got anything to add?
No, doing our fundraiser tomorrow for lunch. I haven't checked the answer machine, see how many orders we got. Got, fire prevention. 23rd, we're doing, the kids down, the elementary kids down at the fire station as of right now. They're doing their school bus safety that morning. Then they're gonna give them a trial run and bring them down to the fire station for a field trip, see if they learn anything.
Great.
Then on the 19th, we've got 65 homeschool kids and 35 parents coming in to join the participation. So we're pretty excited. We're gonna actually start showing off our station.
What's that in
More
conjunction with, Jeff? Is that something, is that in conjunction with some, with the schools that are studying or just something we want to do?
What's that?
Fire, is the fire
Sure, the
prevention
fire
week or
station.
anything?
It's fire prevention.
It's Fire Prevention Week. We've never had the opportunity really to be in a position where we could have the kids go down there. We've always went to them.
Yeah.
This way we can keep them a little bit more longer. That way they get to see more stuff and
Yeah,
get a better
Real
handle
deal.
on what's going on.
And the training, is that this weekend or the following? Okay.
This weekend, the 7th and 8th, Saturday, we're gonna be doing ropes and rescue. We're gonna be practicing on, Pioneer feeder behind us on their grain bins, removing people off the top. And on Sunday, we're gonna take a shot at working in the water plant in confined space. Good playground in there.
I was gonna ask, are kids able to tour our water plant?
No.
They cannot, there's nothing that they can do there at all. Okay.
It's not in shape right now.
I have a unit where I talk about water and, you know, conservation, stuff like that, and water treatment plants, so.
And the Rusty cleans it up.
Come on, Rusty, clean it up.
Other than that, we're doing pretty good. I'll have a application for you next meeting. Got another young gentleman walked in and he's been showing up on his own, learning, helping to clean hose. So he wants to get in the business. Gets us another young one.
Good. Okay.
Right.
Let me go.
The only thing I have is to let you know that, the playground and facades are done. The HVAC, they sent another, person out to try to fix one of the unions, the one that we continue to have problems with. And the grant administrator said that if they can't get it fixed this week, they're just gonna replace it and call it a day.
I have a question about the playground equipment. Did we ever get that fence on the west side up there, on the playground by the pool? I didn't see it out there the other
We
day.
haven't installed, we have.
We have it?
Yeah, we have not installed it.
Um,
We had, I believe we had to order a bucket of the soft stuff because we're gonna have to cut holes out of the place to bench and replace that. Man,
And then if you remember, Dick Boone, he came in and asked about a memorial bench for Janet.
Yes.
He came in today looking for Rusty and he would like to put 4 more out there because he doesn't think there's enough places for the parents to sit. So
Where are you talking about?
up at the playground in the
Oh, yeah.
park.
Could
But
we,
he's
could we
gonna
put
go-
those off the edge of the mat, just put it in the dirt?
I wouldn't recommend that.
So But if they wanna do,
They want to do 4 benches, because after he went and looked at the playground, he thought maybe parents needed more places to
I
sit.
do.
So he's gonna purchase 4, and then he's gonna get with Rusty and Robbie before and talk about placement, and Robbie's gonna work with Rusty to get them installed when they do.
What's the cost of one of those?
I think he's,
No, we paid $16.88. I don't know what Dick Boone's.
Is that per
like.
bench?
We did a longer bench, so we paid $1,600. But I'm not sure what the cost of the ones he's
Yeah.
donating.
was all four of them gonna be memorials. There's 2 of
He
them.
didn't
Came in and
say.
asked me about 2 of them being memorials.
Yeah. He didn't
So
say that. He
actually,
just said he'd like to do 4
since my-
instead.
My mother passed away and we actually have been thinking about like a bench.
Yep.
And the money's been sitting there for like a year.
Yep.
So if you guys have a bench anywhere where you would like one,
Like, you know,
so it's been sitting.
So I'll get some information from Dick, even ask where you purchased his. Maybe have a good
Yeah.
one or two.
So if you have an idea of a bench anywhere, that'd be great. So
I submitted reimbursements to, close out those projects to Area 15, and they total 533,000. So we'll be looking to get that money back and close those out, hopefully by the next meeting or 2.
That's it. Rusty?
Just really quick on, if you have been on the square, I hope everybody has by now. Once the east side is the same as done, got our new poles up, new banners up, looks pretty sharp, I think. South side is going really good. Those guys are already ahead of schedule. As they said before, they're moving right along. They look to be pouring cement next week for the curb and road and keep moving on that real good. Pool, with the pool concrete, they're doing real good down there. Like I said, the inside of the pool house is almost complete, but the inside of that, the drains and everything looks really nice. They've got half the deck torn out. The only hold up on the outside is we've got to wait on the fire inspector to inspect the grounding system before they can pour concrete. Otherwise, they would already have half of that poured as well. So moving along really good on that.
Have we had any complaints from any of the store owners that you know of?
The only one, the one came in this week about the curbing back on the east side. Somebody brought that back up. They wanted to know why we didn't put a curb on that east side. Well, they didn't raise it. Instead of putting the curb, they raised it, made sure they had a 5-inch, at least a 5-inch lip on the sidewalk. So it really wasn't our, they
Wasn't our
planned it
call,
really
was
was out of our hands to do
Not
that.
our call.
And then, the other one is obviously the sidewalk street down. I think they're more than halfway done. They're beyond the square, moving north. And so they just got to go to North Street on Jake's side of the road, and then they'll go to Washington Street on the west side of the road. And so they're real good at, it's good.
Real quick, you kind of brought up a question about crossing the street. We're gonna get crosswalks back on the highway.
That's been a big topic and we,
I was gonna say Liz, Finardi from the DOT stated that the only one that was gonna be put back on there at their expense is gonna be the one at North Street that the 4-way stop comes out. We didn't have any on the actual square prior, going across the highway at least, but we did, if you recall, back when Wiggy was mayor, we had, when that renovation was going on at North Street, we moved it over by Elena's. But they are not replacing it. So if we want to, the expense of putting any down there, we can, but that's up to us. I did ask her if she would be replacing some last week, and she said the only one that they were doing was North Street.
On North Street. That's kind of the only one I was like
Yeah,
questioning about.
yeah.
The other ones I wasn't sure.
Yeah, she said you have buttons on the rest of them, so all 4 sides will stop if you press it, so you don't really need the painted lines, but yes, they will do the one on North Street.
Anything else, Rusty?
that's it.
What about the highway in front of where the highway is? How old is
It's all
that?
done, so they should pull the cones and everything tomorrow morning. They should open that highway back up tomorrow morning and it's good to go. We just gotta finish fixing Jake's yard. We got it, we got into the yard. So we could,
that was the state that did all that.
oh, that's okay. Yeah, so we'll take care of that. We'll have to till it, seed it, sow it and everything there. Get straw on it before winter and that's, what it ended up being was the water line come from over in Weaver Park. And we wheeled it off and it was right at 100 foot where the leak was. We dug it up. It ended up, it was that that's the longest roll of copper you can get. So we said, son of a gun, it hit right there where they spliced the copper line when they originally put that service to his house. And so we changed and bored under the highway instead of fixing it, leaving a splice under the highway again. We bored a new line from Jake's yard into Weaver Park. So now the bridge will just be in the grass. So, yeah, just water heaved up that piece of highway. The highway department was excellent with us. DOT, they came and worked with us and helped us get that poured back in correctly. And yeah, that was 15 inches of cement in there. It's pretty good stuff.
I just don't like the way they put their, cones up there, they had to cross over center line to get out of the driveway. They had to go drive into oncoming traffic to get out of the driveway. So,
Okay.
glad that's almost done.
Yes, that should be pulled tomorrow morning. They should pull tomorrow morning.
Tammy, and before you start, great, the updates you're sending us every day with the pictures and things on the south sidewalk. Thank you. That's very nice. And, so what else have you got?
I'm done. That is it. That's all I have.
I appreciate all that too.
What town is that in?
Town of the Wood End.
Any council updates? Anybody been to a meeting that we need to know about or?
Missed a couple of things, so I don't have it.
Report. All right. And the mayor's not here, so he doesn't have any comments.
He didn't call in, did he?
We got it on mute.
Yeah, they're all on mute, so I don't know. No, he's not on mute. He's not on.
He motioned to, second to adjourn.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yeah.
Jennifer. Yeah.
I'm supposed to sign these.
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't know. Oh, yeah. Maybe. I get plenty of those. Yeah, I think so. One of his face or something. Whether you right?
I will. When the final one due?
Yeah,
the later.
I went to.
February.
Okay.
Right.
Right.